Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bandwagon Sports Show. I am your host, Cade Duvall, and we have a lot to unpack in this Christmas recap episode. We had so many sports Saturday, Sunday, Monday, probably Tuesday. So many sports to unpack, and we don't have enough time to talk about it. So thank you for joining me on this Bandwagon Wednesday. And I hope that all my bandwagoners, my people watching right now, I hope that y'all are having a great day, a blessed day. But we are going to hop right into it, bandwagoners, because this is going to be our longest show ever. We got NFL to talk about. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We got bowl games, college football to talk about. We got bowl games coming up. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to go over that tomorrow. We got Christmas NBA action. We have so much to unpack. We got news. We got way too much to talk about. Way too much. But we're going to talk about it all. We're going to hop right in. We got our NFL slate. This is what we are going to start with first. So much insane action. Playoff implications. Future Super Bowl matchups. Teams getting eliminated from playoffs. Teams clinching playoffs. We had it all. And we had so much news. So much news. So much drama. Everything. There's just way too much to go over. It is almost insane. Like it took me a whole hour to pull all this stuff up for you guys. So I hope y'all enjoy this Bandwagon Wednesday show. Christmas recap show. We still got the snow falling down on me. But everybody, we are going to hop in right now. Kind of check out some results, and then we're going to look at all the stuff that happened in this action. So, our picks for Wagon of the Week, we had Bengals taking down the Steelers. Steelers with an impressive victory with Mason Rudolph taking down the Bengals. We had Bills pulling off a narrow victory against the Chargers, 24-22. Colts getting destroyed by the Falcons as well. Another upset. We had Colts plus 2.5 on this one. So no bueno for the old Indianapolis Colts. We had Seahawks in this one. So we're 2 for 2. Lions. We took the Lions. We took Jets. We took Packers. Then we got Browns, Texans, Browns. Joe Flacco absolutely doing his thing. We will get into that, but oh my goodness. We had Bucks taking down the Jags. But our Jags not really able to get anything going. Bucks looking like a solid 8-7 team. We got Bears taking down the Cardinals and advancing to 69. We have Cowboys barely losing to Dolphins on a game-winning field goal. We had Patriots taking down the Broncos in a crazy matchup. And then for our Christmas Day games, we have Raiders, Chiefs. Raiders taking down the Chiefs, an all-defensive game. Not much offense in this game, super windy game. But Raiders getting it done. Then Eagles taking down the Giants, barely, but clinching the number 1 seed in the NFC East. And Giants getting eliminated from playoff hopes. And then Ravens, 49ers, we had the ultimate matchup. Potential Super Bowl matchup this year. We had Ravens just absolutely taking it to the 49ers. Ravens coming in as underdogs. So you love to see them getting it done. But we're going to hop in to some of this action with all these teams over here. Well, probably some of the teams. But we got Steelers, first game, our Saturday game. First game. We got Jaylen Warren talking earlier during the week. We touched on this multiple times with the whole George Pickens incident. George Pickens not blocking for Jaylen Warren. Him having to hit like 3 people, not getting into the end zone. Probably would have gotten into the end zone if old George Pickens blocks for him. So, a bunch of scrutiny, a bunch of talks kind of slandering George Pickens. You even had Jaylen Warren coming out and him saying, hey, I would have blocked for him. And then, so we see this play right here. Watch number 30. This guy right here. Watch number there. Boom! Absolutely laying out a man and keeping his word. Just absolutely, like, look at this guy right here. I don't know if you can see him right here, but look at him just fly backwards. Good stuff from Jaylen Warren. That's what you want out of a teammate. That's what you want out of someone buying into the Steeler process. This is some good stuff right here for Jaylen Warren. And this is why they absolutely slaughtered the Cincinnati Bengals. When they play together, when they play for each other, they kill it. And they absolutely do their thing. So you love Jaylen Warren taking over the number 1 running spot over Najee Harris. The dude has just been a stud this year. And doing things like this is what you love to see. This is what you love to see from a running back, from your starting running back. This is what you love to see from all your players. This is why the 49ers have had so much success this year, because you got George Kittle, you got Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, you got all these people blocking for each other, playing as one. And so this is why we're seeing the Steelers have success in this game, is because they're all buying in. Oh, come on here. So we have George Pickens. 4 targets, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 48 yards per reception. Dude absolutely has a monster game. So all the talk, as we see up here, of him not blocking, and then him just shutting up everybody. A little clip of him. But dude, I don't respect this man at all. This dude's been not blocking, throwing temper tantrums every single game, and then he goes off one game and he's like, shut up. Like, I'm that guy. I'm him. You are him. You're a great athlete. Nobody's complaining that you are not great and that you cannot do great things like this. We just want to see you not throwing temper tantrums and putting your life on the line for your teammates. This is what they're doing. We saw Jaylen Warren blocking for you. Like, they want to do this for you, but you need to be able to do this for them. And so this little dude, like, it seems like he's a head case. It seems like he is going to be off or on. I don't know if he'll ever be super consistent or super great, just because it seems like he's got a mental problem. But George Pickens absolutely having a monstrosity of a game. We see it here again. Here's probably some of his highlights right here. But we got Mason Rudolph just launching him dimes. So boom, running this one for a touchdown. I think it was like the second play of the game. So absolutely just going off, doing his thing. Got another one. Then I think he has another monster touchdown. This one right here. So 2 crazy plays right there for old George Pickens doing his thing. I mean, we are not slandering his name as not being an athlete. We just want to see the man, compete and play some good ball. That's all we really wanted. We just want to see him buying in, being a good teammate, doing his thing. But Mason Rudolph having the best game of his life right before Christmas is a little on the nose, as Mina Kime said. I mean, that's pretty spot on. You got Mason Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer leading the Steelers, a hopeless team, to potentially playoff hopes. So Mason Rudolph absolutely doing his thing. 17 for 27, 290 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, just a stellar performance. Both those touchdowns going to George Pickens. But good stuff. Mason Rudolph, third quarterback for the Steelers with 30-plus points in a game over the last 2 seasons, over 31 games between Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. We've only had that happen one time. Mason Rudolph steps in, and for the first time, his only start, in a few years, of course, but his only start in the last 2 seasons, he puts up 30-plus points. So Mason Rudolph looking electric as a quarterback. Beginning of the season, you had Steelers fans chanting, "Fire Canada! Fire Canada!" And what happened? They fired the man midway through the season. They fired him. Steelers got what they wanted. You know what else happened when old Mitchell Trubisky came in to relieve for Kenny Pickett? The Steelers fans started chanting, "Mason Rudolph! Mason Rudolph!" And guess what they got? They got themselves Mason Rudolph, and they got themselves a Christmas miracle. So you love to see it for the Steelers fans. Hey, you might as well have Steelers fans as the head coach, as the general manager. Just have Steelers fans just run the entire team. Just have them do it. Because they are making some incredible moves, and they are putting themselves in a chance to make it to the playoffs. So good stuff right here from old Mason Rudolph. Now you got, I don't know if George Pickens was buying into the system or if he just got some lucky balls. But with Jaylen Warren blocking like that, looking like an absolute stud, with George Pickens going off, with Mason Rudolph going off, I mean, Steelers look like a playoff team if I've ever seen one. But Mike Tomlin, he's never had a losing season. He has 2 games coming up, 2 somewhat tough games. We'll see if he can pull off the winning season. You got Seahawks, that's probably going to be his best shot, and then he's playing the Baltimore Ravens. So, not looking too good against the Baltimore Ravens, so he is going to have to pull it off against the Seahawks. And who knows, they might have a chance on playoffs, especially if they win both those games. But George Pickens, have yourself a game. Do y'all thing. I still don't know how I feel about you, but hey, you're doing your thing. And then we had Chargers-Bills. As we said, it was a close one. It was neck and neck. Bills were supposed to win. I think it was minus 12.5. It was a massive line. And Chargers stay in it after getting absolutely blown out the last week against the Raiders. So Chargers coming into this, Easton Stick looking electric, throwing dimes, just doing his thing, as we say. But Chargers actually getting it done, playing pretty well at home. But it inevitably came down to old Tyler Bass kicking the game-winning field goal. As we see in this visual, he is 8 for 8 on lead-changing field goal attempts in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime. Now he's 9 for 9. That was just the stat going into it. So Tyler Bass, an absolute stud of a man, just knocking down the game-winning field goal. What a guy. The dude is clutch when it comes to the last 2 minutes of the game. But we got to see the Chargers super fan at the game, the woman who went viral. We got to see her there cheering on her Chargers. They almost got it done. That's probably why they almost took down the Bills, because of the super fan. But Los Angeles Chargers eliminated from playoff contention. They are gone. And we see our viral fan just absolutely distraught. I think this was from the last time that they showed her in the last game. But poor girl gets her heart broken. the superfan. But Chargers having themselves a grand old time. We see them getting a little emo going, just doing their thing. They were having some fun football. I thought they were going to pull it off there for a second. I thought they were. But hopping into the Browns-Texan game, we had Case Keenum in over C.J. Stroud. No C.J. Stroud. We had Nico Collins back for the Texans. But there was nobody that was going to come in here and stop old Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper with 11 receptions. Hold on, guys. We forgot to play our music. Amari Cooper with 11 receptions, 265 reception yards, and 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper sets the Browns franchise record for receiving yards. I mean, just absolutely crazy. 11 receptions. He almost has 300 yards. Joe Flacco is just like, oh, where's Amari Cooper at? Oh, there he is. Dime! 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 That's 4. Dime! 5. Dime! 6. Dime! 7. Dime! 8. Dime! 9. Dime! 10. Dime! 11. And dime! Oh, shit. 11. 11 dimes right to Amari Cooper. Joe Flacco looking crazy, but Amari Cooper just having an insane game. He said, I am unguardable. Nobody can guard me. Who can guard Amari? Not me. Obviously not anybody on the Texans. But Amari Cooper, have yourself a game. Joe Flacco, 368 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions on the day too, but it doesn't matter. The man is throwing dimes. I guess here's a little comparison. Joe Flacco and Amari Cooper today. Let's see some of these plays right here. We got Joe Flacco airing it out, just looking effortless. Boom! Give me that. Could have had 3 touchdowns probably right there. Boom! Just airing it out again. All he had to do was just throw it up, and Amari was there. Running it in for the touchdown. Like, just incredible play. Another touchdown. Bang! Amari Cooper, Joe Flacco, absolutely just an electric story. Joe Flacco just coming off his couch after Thanksgiving, coming in to relieve for the Browns. I mean, they've had so many quarterbacks. We're going to talk about it at the end of the show, but they've gone through Deshaun. They've gone through P.J. Walker. They've gone through Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and they found their savior. And Joey Flacco, former Super Bowl MVP, baby. Joey Flacco just launching it. So you love to see that. Who knows? Could Joe Flacco be the man moving forward? Probably not, because of Deshaun Watson's big old contract and because how old Joe Flacco is. But he is looking electric, and he could do some damage in these playoffs. So good stuff there. Joe Flacco was reportedly interested in going to the Jets once Aaron Rodgers was hurt. But now, Jets had other ideas. Jets were like, nah, we have our franchise quarterback, Zach Wilson. We got Trevor Siemian. We got studs over here. We don't need you, Joe Flacco. We don't need you. We got Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. Joe Flacco would have been electric for the Jets. They also have a stud defense, an amazing defense. So, crazy. The Jets would pass up on a man like this, and they would go with a quarterback that proved to be a failing quarterback last year, Zach Wilson. So, rough stuff right there. Oh, I forgot. They went through Tim Boyle, too. Yeah. So, Jets picking Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian over old Joey Flacco. They could be in playoffs right now. They could have Aaron Rodgers back on their team, and Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers could have been leading them to playoffs. But no, they had other ideas. But Jets take down the Commanders. Yeah. Well, we'll touch on that here in a second. For some reason, I thought we were talking about that game, but no, we were talking about the Browns. But Detroit Lions, the brand new Lions, clinch the NFC North title for the first time in 30 years or something like that? First division title since 1993, the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff, leading the Detroit Lions to an NFC North title. Good stuff right here. Amazing stuff. First time in 30 years they beat the Vikings, who's the second team in their conference. Good stuff. That's a long time. That is a long time, Mr. Detroit Lion. But y'all deserve it. 10-6. Good stuff here. Leading the NFC Central. Oh, it was the NFC Central back in 1993. So, okay. So Bucks used to be in their conference, which is actually crazy. So it's been 3 decades since we've seen the old Lions at the top there. You love to see it. Good stuff from them. You got Dan Campbell getting emotional after winning the division.
Ecstatic, man. This is special. This is special, but
I think we saw Dan Campbell get emotional when they got his first win as a head coach. I'm pretty sure he used to be a former Lion himself. So, Dan Campbell, what a great head coach. What a great person that you want leading this Lions team. And it shows why they're champions. This dude puts his heart and soul into this NFL team, this program. He's doing it all. He wants to see these guys succeed. He wants to see the team succeed. He just loves the Lions. He is just a Lion at heart. Should have pulled up one of the pictures of him, but we got Rams. Could potentially be the number 6 seed in the NFC. And Lions would have their first home playoff game since 1993. And that could potentially be against old Matthew Stafford. So we could see the old Lions quarterback that could not win them a title possibly playing Jared Goff and the brand new Lions first round in playoffs. This would be insane because Rams, as we've seen the last few games, I think they're 5-1 in their last few games. They started off the season 3-6. They are looking hot. They are turning it up when it means the most. We've seen Lions kind of up and down. They started really hot. They've had a few shaky games. Now they're getting back in that win column. This could be an incredible story. Imagine Matthew Stafford comes in, takes out the brand new Lions first round. That would be an incredible story. And that would be one for the script. Who knows? Is the script in favor of old Matthew Stafford? Who knows? We're going to see. They might not even play each other, but hey, this is still cool to see. The Browns and Lions. First time both teams have had 10-plus wins in the same season. This is just the second time. The last time was 1953. It's been 70 years. 70 years since this has happened. So incredible stuff. We're seeing Browns absolutely turn it up. Lions absolutely turn it up. Me growing up watching both of these teams, none of them have been good at all. None of them have had winning records really at all. Like Matthew Stafford maybe, but they've never been playoff contending teams, and both of these teams are looking pretty nasty, especially the Browns defense and with old Joey Flacco looking electric, Jared Goff and these Lions looking electric. these could be two filthy teams to play against. You might not want to see them in playoffs. Hopping into, Jets. Jets versus Commanders. We got Trevor Siemian coming in as quarterback and winning for the Jets in a thriller. They were leading the majority of the game, but Commanders come back with not Mitchell Trubisky, with Jacoby Brissett. So they bench. We're about to look at it here in a second. They bench Sam Howell again. Back-to-back games that they have benched him pretty much midway through the games after I'm pretty sure he threw 2 picks. And they put in Jacoby Brissett again, and he has a pretty stellar game, which I'm pretty sure he did last week too. But Jets starting off hot with a field goal, touchdown, field goal, and then boom, starting to get kind of shaky. So you hear Trevor Siemian at the beginning of this, and he was like, I was having real fun, and then I wasn't having fun, and then I had some fun. So good stuff here. Way to Trevor Siemian to come in here and relieve for the old Jets that need some electricity, some sparks, and getting it done. We had, like we said, Sam Howell getting benched. We saw a cool moment. I think Brissett was talking to Sam Howell, and he was like, hey, all great quarterbacks have this one moment where they're in a slump, and it's about just how you get out of that and how you adapt and how you keep overcoming those obstacles. So keep slinging it, keep your head up. But hey, this might be the last time we see Sam Howell as starting quarterback for the Commanders. But Brissett playing an incredible game, and you love to see him being like a veteran right there, being a leader on that team, and especially showing him, hey, do not give up. This happens to everybody. It's not just you. You got it. Breece Hall, 43.1 fantasy points with 2 touchdowns. Breece Hall has been looking pretty shaky this year. He's had a few electric games, but Breece Hall, a stellar stud running back for the Jets. With all these quarterbacks that they've had, Tim Boyle not having much offense getting going, with old Zach Wilson not getting the offense going very well. There hasn't been much electricity from him, but him showing in this game that, hey, you give me the ball, you put the ball in my hands, I am going to be a special player for this team. So cool stuff seeing him go off for these 2 touchdowns, and I think he had like 90-something receiving yards and 90-something rushing yards. So crazy stuff. It's cool to see what Aaron Rodgers may have this next year. He's got some playmakers. He's got Garrett Wilson. He's got Breece Hall. He's got all these different players. A stellar defense. Jets could look filthy if Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. So good stuff here. We got a big, 36-yard rush right here for a touchdown. Breece Hall, crazy stuff. And then we got another touchdown from old Breece Hall. So good stuff getting into the end zone. He is a very speedy, electric player. So you love to see him succeeding. Keep doing your thing, old Breece Hall. Moving on, we got Bucks, Jags. Jags needing to turn it up. They need to turn it up if they want to even make playoffs. It's not looking good for them, from their playoff hopes. Especially Trevor coming out of the game. I think he was out. They've been 0-4 in their last 4 games. Not good. Opponents' points per game, they've been allowing 30 points per game. 10 more than what they were averaging in the first 11 games of the season. Yardage, they're allowing 60 more yards per game. So Trevor, I think throwing a few interceptions, fumbling the ball. I mean, just turnover machines. You have Christian Kirk out. You got Calvin Ridley. I think Zay Jones, I think he was out. So a lot of playmakers out for the Jags. them not being able to get very much done. But old Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans doing their thing. You got Mike Evans with his 13th touchdown reception this season. He is now the 5th player in NFL history to record at least 12 touchdown receptions in 5 or more seasons. So, Mike Evans cementing his name with some of the greats. Jerry Rice, he's done it in 8 seasons. Terrell Owens, done it in 7 seasons. Marvin Harrison in 6 seasons. And Randy Moss in 6 seasons. So, Mike Evans having himself in another incredible season, cementing himself with the greats. As I said, just keep doing your thing, big boy. Keep letting old Baker slang it to you. Get a few more touchdowns to end the season off. Keep doing great things. Baker Mayfield contract contains a $1 million bonus for winning the NFC South, which right now they are in first place. So, old Baker Mayfield can get himself another milli on the year if he succeeds in getting this team the number 1 seed. So good stuff from Baker. He's had some electric games. I think last week he had a near perfect game. And then this week, getting it done against the Jags, beating them pretty handily. So, Baker Mayfield, go off. This has been probably his best team he's been on. So good stuff, old Baker. Keep slinging it. Keep throwing Mike Evans some touchdowns. You're a stud, dude. And then we got Miami Cowboys action. My Dallas Cowboys went to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. Strength of schedule throughout the first 14 games for the Dolphins. Easiest in the NFL. Easiest schedule. So we could see why they got to the 10-4 record they were at. Strength of schedule the rest of the season, 0.69. Wow. Toughest in the NFL. So they're going from easiest schedule to the toughest schedule. Let's kind of look at some of these teams that they have left. So before this, they were including the Dallas Cowboys. Next, they have the Rams, and next they have the Bills. So, Bills starting to turn it up, even though they had a shaky game against the Chargers. I mean, they had a massive victory against the Cowboys. Cowboys now on a 2-game losing streak. Not good. But Ravens looking absolutely electric. That could be a tough one for the Miami Dolphins. But Miami getting it done, as we talked about. Both of these teams were the number 1 and number 2 points per game teams. Miami, 31.5 points per game. Dallas Cowboys, 30.8. So crazy offenses. Dak has been throwing it. These are both 2 MVP candidates this year. Dak was almost probably second place for a while. I don't think he's there anymore. Tua, I don't think he's there anymore. But hey, these 2 teams have been electric. But Jason Sanders stealing the show. 5 field goals. He had like a 57-yarder, a 54-yarder, like a 50-yarder, and then he had like 2 within probably 40 or 30. But hits the game-winning field goal, and you see him here counting the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if it was the Kobe or what, but he was getting it done, showing us, hey, he hits those. I'm sure he had like 1 million points in fantasy this week. So if you had old Jason Sanders, the dude hit the game winner. He hit multiple 50-yarders and was ultimately the Dallas Cowboy killer. Dallas Cowboys, very first drive of the game, fumbling on the 1-yard line, which they had their fullback running in who Dak was handing it off to. So this could have been a much different outcome with just one little mistake. But yet again, Dak and his offense not really able to be as electric as they have been in the past. So hey, that Dolphins defense with them getting Jalen Ramsey back, they are starting to look like a pretty solid team moving forward. So good stuff from old Miami. They now clinch a playoff berth. And I think they are number one in their division. So with this win, getting them to 11-4, they are now playoff. They're now a playoff team. I think they're number 2 team in the AFC. I could be wrong, but hey, Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. We saw Jalen Waddle get poked in the eyes, and him get pretty beaten up. So they pretty much didn't have Waddle the majority of the game, and Tyreek only getting 99 yards. So Tyreek, these last 2 games, he is going to have to absolutely step it up and have 2 monster games if he wants to break that record or even get close to 2,000 yards. Let's see where old Tyreek's at right now. But Tyreek, them not being able to utilize him. So right now he's got 1,641 yards. So let's go ahead and pull up the calculator. Maybe. We might pull up the calculator. Got a lot going on here. My computer's hating me right now. So, shit. 1,641 yards. Okay. Fuck. So we got 1,000. Or shoot. Let's just do 2,000 minus 1,641 yards. So he's about 359 yards off. We divide that by 2 with the last 2 games of the season. He is going to have to get 180 yards both games if he wants to hit that 2,000 mark. Now, I think the record right now is around there. I think it's around 1,961. You subtract his 1,641. It's 320 yards. You divide this by 2. So, if he wants to break the record, he's looking at probably 160 yards per game. We saw it with Amari Cooper this week. We saw it with George Pickens this week. But those were monster, and one of them being a franchise record. So he is going to have an incredible season, an incredible last 2 games. They got Ravens, Bills. They're going to have to utilize their boy if they want a chance at that record. But moving on, we got Patriots beating the Broncos in an electric game. This was just back and forth. This was our Sunday night football matchup. It's the last game on the Friday slate. Bailey Zappi leading the 3-11 Patriots to a victory on the road. Broncos have looked decent. I think they were coming off a loss, so now that's putting them in the 2-loss category. But Bailey Zappi, that's now 2 wins for him. I think, what, is he 2-1 now? God, let's look at that too. Bailey Zappi turning this team around, which, hey, might not be very good. So yeah, lost to the Chiefs, but played somewhat decent game. But has 2 out of the 3 wins. Not too shabby. Not too shabby for my boy Zappi. But we got Broncos dropping their last 2. And dropping their last 3 out of the last 4. So Bailey Zappi, I think they hit a game-winning field goal as well, and I think it was from deep. I think it was like 54-yarder, 56-yard field goal attempt. Boom. I think his long for the season was 55 yards. So him breaking his long and hitting the game-winning field goal, allowing old Zappi to get a victory over the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson. But that would do it. Pretty sure. Here we had 2 Patriot touchdowns in seconds. So, kickoff. And I think they muff it or something. Yep. And then he fumbles. Boom. Fumbles. They get it in the end zone. Touchdown off of a kickoff. And then bang. Bailey Zappi throwing another touchdown. So I guess this happened within a few seconds. And that would do it for that. So right now, I'm going to have to take 5 real quick because your boy has got to take a bathroom break. This coffee is running right through me, if you know what I mean. So we're going to take a little intermediate break real quick. We're only 42 minutes in. We probably have another hour, hour and a half. So we are going to be right back. I'll see you in a second. Take 5. All right, we are back. That was a quick one, but oh my goodness, boy, is this coffee just running straight through me, if you know what I mean. So, whoo, man, I feel like I'm 10 pounds lighter. I feel like we can get through this show now. But we're about 45 minutes into the show. Like I said, we probably have another hour at least, probably an hour and a half, giving you my hot takes of this Christmas recap. Now we are going to touch on the last 3 games that happened Christmas Day. So now, Saturday, over with. Sunday, over with. Monday, now we are in these Christmas games. First one to start us off, we had Kansas City Chiefs taking on Aiden O'Connell and the Las Vegas Raiders. This was our first game, and this was a electric defensive game. We had the division rivals right here taking on each other. Aiden O'Connell coming off of his 64-point performance. And Chiefs looking very shaky. Let's kind of look at Chiefs right now. They've been struggling heavily. So this was our first game of Christmas Day. So okay, Chiefs coming off. Yeah, I forgot about the Patriots victory. So they had a victory over the Chiefs, but dropping the game to the Bills, dropping a game to the Packers, dropping a game to the Eagles. So they have been just off on. So they started off the season with a loss to the Lions, but had a 6-game winning streak, and then ever since then they've lost more games than they've won. So they have Bengals, Chargers coming up. That should be a good end to the season. But Las Vegas getting the job done, taking down the former 2-time Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, and the I guess last year's Super Bowl champions. But Chiefs now 9-6, losing 20-14. Not a good-looking showing from them too. We saw Chiefs just absolutely melting down. We saw earlier in the season, we've seen Patrick Mahomes' receivers drop many balls. You got Tony being offsides with a miraculous play that Travis Kelce made. And we've seen just Patrick Mahomes is visibly upset. So him coming to the sideline being like, you can't call that. Like you're interfering with the game of football. Like you cannot call that. So him throwing a temper tantrum, him and Andy Reid both getting fined. So we've seen Mr. Cool Patrick Mahomes. We've never really seen him like this. We've seen him very competitive, but he has always kept his cool. This is the first time we have ever seen him just start to break down. So Patrick Mahomes, we see him right here. He's like, call the fucking play. So them having to probably call a timeout right there, not giving him the play. You see him on the sideline as well. I don't have footage of this, but him talking to his offensive line and just absolutely getting to them. He is like, come on. Like, I just bought y'all golf carts for Christmas. Block for me. So him getting onto his offensive line. We saw Travis Kelce get upset. Him launching his helmet. So you see him come to the side and him just absolutely Gronk spike his helmet. It's not in this one. But we have one of like the managers, whatever, on the side, and him going and retrieving his helmet, trying to give it back. Andy Reid's like, do not give that back to him. He's like, do not give that to him. And then he obviously has his little moment with Kelce, giving him a little shove, and he's like, come on, man, you're a leader. Step up for the team. They don't need to be like, these guys don't need to be seeing you like that. We need you to go out there and perform. So very frustrating day, very windy, cold day in Kansas City. You would think they'd be used to this, but I mean, we saw the ball just blowing all over the place. You saw stuff blowing onto the field. Just crazy game. We had a Chiefs wide receiver lining up offsides again, and you had Jim Nantz, the commentator.
Brings up 4th down.
What? A Kansas City player offsides at Arrowhead? Never.
So you had Jim Nantz cracking a joke, just being like, hey, Kansas City Chiefs player offsides at Arrowhead? No, that doesn't happen. But obviously making a dig at Kadarius Toney and that whole incident that happened. So it's actually surprising seeing it happen after that happened. It's almost like they're just not making fixes. But Chiefs just absolutely falling apart as a team. Not looking too good at all. But Raiders have 2 touchdowns within 7 seconds. This was crazy. So we had Chiefs, I'm pretty sure, winning the game at this point. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure Chiefs up, even with it being a frustrating day, they were up in this game. But you have Patrick Mahomes and Pacheco trying to be fancy, trying to do a little play, that they actually got a touchdown with the drive before with Pacheco in the Wildcat. But them ultimately fumbling the ball on their own 8-yard line, it looks like right there, and then Raiders just running it in. Very next drive, boom, Patrick Mahomes throws a pick to, I think, Trey Jones or something like that. You see him just giving it to him, just absolutely staring him down, running into the end zone. So this happened back-to-back, yeah. So that literally, let's see, Kansas City Chiefs are up 7-3 at that point, and they get this back-to-back touchdowns. You saw Trey Jones, as we just kind of saw right there, literally staring down Patrick Mahomes as he ran into the end zone. Look at him just stare him down. Pretty crazy. And usually, these amazing elite competitors, we saw it with Michael Jordan, we saw it with Kobe. All these elite competitors want something to fuel them up. So, I mean, you got the commentators being like, hey, you don't want to be poking this man. You don't want to be poking the bear. He's going to turn it up. He's going to do something. But Raiders ultimately ended up getting it done. Was it Jack Jones? Sorry, not Trey Jones. Jack Jones staring him down. I think we saw a crazy interception from him in the Chargers game as well. It could have been someone else. But him having himself a game, and right after this, he runs up to one of the Chiefs fans in the stands and pretends to hand it to him and then takes it back from him. So Jack Jones being the Grinch on Christmas. These people thinking they're getting a gift, but obviously going for the Chiefs, and him just absolutely being a Grinch. I think he posted on his social media a picture with the Grinch's face over him. So funny stuff right there. I guess he stole Christmas he stole the Christmas away from the Chiefs. So cool stuff right there. I mean, that's just electric. Patrick Mahomes, 6 losses on the season. This is the most ever losses that Patrick Mahomes has had as a starter. So the worst season that he has been in, and I don't want to blame it on the wide receivers, but they have dropped some big balls. They have lined up offsides when they shouldn't be. They have made many mistakes, and I think, as we touched on, I think a week or two ago on the show, we talked about that they've dropped the most passes within the last 30 years of any team. I think they have an 8% drop percentage, so almost 1 out of every 10 balls they're dropping, which is crazy. So you got to know that he is just upset. He's the only reliable receiver he has is Travis Kelce, and he's even starting to bobble the ball. So you hate to see it right there. This is his first ever loss to a rookie quarterback. So he was 8-0 before this against rookie quarterbacks, and now has an 8-1 record. Aiden O'Connell only had 67 reception yards the entire game. It's 67 in the first quarter, and quarters 2nd through 4th. He didn't have a single reception, didn't have a single reception yard the rest of the game. So we saw, pretty much all these points right here were from just running it down the Kansas City's throat and from their defense. So Aiden O'Connell not doing very much. I think he literally only had 2 points in fantasy. But you hate to see it for the old Kansas City Chiefs. But hey, their division rival, Raiders, taking them down. So we saw quite a bit of upsets. We saw quite a bit of action going down on Christmas and even just Christmas weekend. A lot of weird stuff in the air. So I had a parlay, and all Steelers just destroyed my parlay. First leg of my parlay. They just destroyed it. So, yeah. Moving on, we had Eagles taking on the Giants. Tommy DeVito. Tommy Cutlet. Cutlet kid. Getting benched. No. So, what is it? Davall or whatever, not liking what he's seeing. Benching old Tommy DeVito. Just a crazy story from this guy. Still staying at his mom's house. His mom makes his bed. His mom makes him food. His mom does his laundry. This dude just getting pampered. We saw his agent. But Tommy DeVito, big dubs. Him having 3 wins in a row. Doing crazy stuff. And then him not able to get much done against the Eagles. Them benching him, putting in Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor keeping him in the game. And actually coming back. And Eagles just looking shaky. I think Tyrod Taylor, they even had a chance to tie it up at the very end. So Giants now eliminated from playoff contention. It's crazy. There's been a lot of losing teams in the NFC. So, I mean, I guess they still had a chance at 5-9, but not anymore. I think they needed like a bunch of stuff to happen, but they are now officially eliminated from playoffs. Tommy DeVito, the Cutlet kid, out of there. Tyrod Taylor had a great beginning of the season when he replaced old Daniel Jones. But once he went out with a concussion or some type of injury, we had Tommy DeVito stepping in, doing his thing, looking good, but ultimately getting benched. And hopefully we see him again. But Tyrod has been playing pretty great for the Giants, so we might not get to see Tommy again. This might be the last time we see big dubs, Tommy Cutlet in the NFL. Moving on, we had our Christmas Day monster of a game, Christmas night. We had the number 1 team in the AFC, the Baltimore Ravens, taking on the number 1 team in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers. So, an electric game. Ravens coming in as underdogs. It looked like this was actually a crazy game on paper. Probably should have been a better game. We saw some crazy fluke plays that we're going to kind of touch on. But hey, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens destroying, and I mean destroying, the San Francisco 49ers. We thought the San Francisco 49ers were juggernauts. We thought they were the best team in the league. We didn't think anyone was going to be able to touch them. Not even 11-3 Ravens. But Ravens running through them like they were nothing. First quarter of the game, we saw Lamar Jackson literally just, I think they were on like the 25 or 30 yards. He just absolutely takes off towards his end zone. And as he's backing up, the ref starts to back up and trips over himself, falls into the end zone, and ultimately trips Lamar Jackson. Let's see if we got it right here. So he's running back, trying to avoid him. Trips Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson kind of just shuffles it out. They call it an intentional grounding, which made it a safety and gave San Francisco at home a 2-point lead in this game and got the ball back. So the referee interfering with the game, if this wasn't the script, I don't know what was, but the script could not stop the Baltimore Ravens in this one. Not even refs interfering, tripping. Nothing could stop the Baltimore Ravens in this one. We saw the ref. So they're saying, eject the ref. Get that ref out of there. Like, come on. He is literally just interfering with the game. And this was so funny.
How much you got on that? How much you got on that parlay?
You got someone heckling him on the sideline. How much you got on that parlay? And you see a reaction from the ref. So it was actually a humble, cool moment right there. But it was absolutely hilarious. But poor dude just falls back, just loses his footing, trips Lamar Jackson. You would have thought there had to have been something that they would do, like with an interference like that. But no, they just came right out and they were like, intentional grounding, safety. So no leeway at all. They were like, we don't give a fuck that ref was in your way. Safety. So pretty ruthless. Looked like the script, but Script could not prevail. Kyle Hamilton, I think had like 2 picks in this game. But look at this play. Look at how it started. We're talking about this guy right here, laying down. He is absolutely squashed, absolutely flattened. He got pancaked. And then we see him right here with the pick. So watch this. Watch this play roll out. So it looks like we can't even see it right here, but I guess that's the pick. But right here, we see him get absolutely flattened. And then he stays with it. He stays with it. Ball gets popped up into the air, and he just happens to be in the right spot. Gets the pick. So cool stuff. I think there has to be a better angle of this. So we're gonna check. There was a really cool angle that I saw where you could see the whole play. This has to be it. Where you could see the whole play. So right here, we got Hamilton just getting absolutely flattened. He just stays down there for a second. Could have been what the flag was. But he's just kind of staying in it. Ball gets popped up. Boom! Gets the catch, goes right down. And I think he had a pick in the red zone on one of the first drives. So cool stuff right there. I mean, hey, that just shows if you're an athlete watching this right now, never give up on the play. Never give up. No matter what happens, you stay in there and you keep hustling. You keep doing your thing. Be that guy. Make these plays. This is where these highlights come from. That's a highlight right there. That shows effort. And hey, all these teams in the NFL, they're probably showing all their players this, and they're like, this is the type of effort we need. You get shoved down on the ground, when you get your face smacked in, you get right back up and you do it for your team. Maybe George Pickens needs to learn a lesson or two. But cool stuff right there. With Zay Flowers with a Grinch touchdown celebration theme. So him kicking in the door, getting all the presents, and then him and Isaiah Likely just running off. Cool stuff right there. Cool stuff seeing Zay Flowers, the rookie, getting himself a touchdown. We had Christian McCaffrey on a 14-pick parlay. All of these anytime touchdowns. This dude put in a $5 wager to win $500,000. Well, guess what? Christian McCaffrey gets a rushing touchdown. He gets his anytime touchdown. And this $5 wager hits for $500,000. We have footage of this guy right here. Listen to him. He is in just disbelief. His friend's going crazy. Them making sure that he gets into the end zone, making sure his knee wasn't down before. But the parlay cashes. And this dude has a hell of a Christmas night, winning $490,000, $500,000. Good stuff to this dude. That is just a Christmas miracle in itself. You love to see when stuff happens like this. You love to see just the average bettor, the average man that just loves watching sports, that just loves betting on the game, having a little something in the game, winning these. So congrats. Who is this? T Duff. Hopefully this is him right here. T Duff 21, hitting an absolute banger. He's got a child. Looks like he went to Michigan. Something. But hey, congrats to you, T Duff, on your $500,000. But Brock Purdy throws 4 interceptions in this game. I think he only had 7 interceptions on the season, and him throwing 4 in this game. Almost more than half of what he had already thrown all year. 0 touchdown passes, but them getting around the same yards. Lamar with 2 touchdown passes, holding on to the ball, having a higher QB rating. Ooh, 42.6 with those 4 interceptions, but it was almost just unbelievable. Balls were just coming off hands, popping up in the air. Very crazy stuff from old Brock Purdy. And I think Ravens got a 5th interception, if I'm not wrong, and that was on Sam Darnold on like the last drive of the game. So 49ers not looking like the 49ers, but hey, still kind of hanging in there as we see this final score right here. Them still kind of hanging in. So if they don't throw those 4 picks, what does this game look like? What does it look like? Who knows? Who knows? But Lamar, we talked about last week how Brock Purdy was the number 1 frontrunner for MVP. Well, not after this game. After this game, Lamar Jackson is now the MVP favorite. The MVP favorite. So him having a monster performance against inevitably the best team in the NFL, he said, no, Ravens are the best team in the NFL. But now, the highest odds, we had Christian McCaffrey now at number 2, 2 at 3. Brock Purdy drops to 4. So here's another little visual right here. Oh, no, this one's got Brock Purdy at number 3. But Christian McCaffrey, we don't even have Tyreek on here anymore. He's kind of, with him getting hurt, and probably not going to get that record. We don't even see him on here. But Lamar Jackson and his Baltimore Ravens jumping to that number 1 spot in the NFL, in the entire NFL, number 1 spot in the MVP race, number 1 spot in the AFC, number 1 spot in his division, his conference. Baltimore Ravens looking crazy. They got Zay Flowers, Bateman, Isaiah Likely replacing old Mark Andrews. You got Gus Edwards. I mean, this team, they are just getting it done. They are just winning games. They don't have any like superstars, especially with Mark Andrews out. But they are just getting it done. Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, superstar and MVP frontrunner. So I think Lamar Jackson has a 20-1 record against all NFC teams that he has faced. The only person to take down the Baltimore Ravens in the NFC is none other than Daniel Jones. Look at that pretty face. Look at that pretty face. Oh, Daniel Jones, only QB. This is too funny. So Giants, this had to have been, last year, taking down the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens at that time were 3-3, and wow, the Giants with old Danny Dimes were 5-1. So crazy stuff. I think Giants, Eagles, and Cowboys made playoffs last year. So NFC East was very strong last year. Still very strong, but Commanders and Giants out of there. But crazy stuff that Daniel Jones is the only person that has beat Lamar Jackson in the NFC. But that just shows how dominant old Lamar Jackson is. We had a cool moment between John Harbaugh and Brock Purdy. John Harbaugh, the Baltimore Ravens head coach, talking to Brock Purdy at the end of the game, and him saying, I'm pretty sure, here, let's listen. I think he said, I've been told that we look alike, or something like that. Yeah, people tell me we look alike. So I'm telling them that. Listen. Funny stuff right there. And then I was kind of looking at it, and I was like, well, they're kind of the same height. They kind of look alike. But look at this. When you see this, tell me that Brock Purdy and John Harbaugh do not look alike. They look identical. These men look identical. John Harbaugh is exactly what Brock Purdy is going to look like when he is however old John Harbaugh is. Looks like he's got a little receding hairline, just a little less. So you can imagine Brock Purdy's hairline just moves up a little bit. But, wow, their faces just look absolutely identical. Are they the same person, just in another body? Maybe. Maybe. Is that just a younger John Harbaugh? Who knows? But crazy resemblance between them. Kind of, I don't know. Kind of looks like looks like they got different chins, but weird stuff. Teams eliminated. We talked about Giants were also eliminated, but Giants, Jets, Chargers, Patriots, Titans, Cardinals, Commanders, Panthers, all eliminated. I think we have 24 teams in the NFL that still have a chance to make playoffs if something crazy happens. So most teams ever in probably a few decades. Last time there were 26. So 24 teams still have a chance at making playoffs. So we're about to see people duking it out. There's going to be a lot of playoff implications in these next 2 weeks. It's going to come down to the line. Power rankings, we got Baltimore Ravens obviously number 1. Wow, they have Miami number 2. San Francisco number 3. Lions, Eagles, Bills, Browns in that number 7 spot. Kansas City 8. Dallas Cowboys 9. They have Kansas City over Dallas Cowboys. That's interesting. Rams in that number 10 spot. So Rams absolutely tearing it up. We have another kind of, I guess this one's a different one. We got Cowboys in the 7 spot on this one, above the Chiefs. That one makes sense. And above the Browns. I guess Browns, Cowboys have the same record. Cowboys moving down 2 spots. Eagles moving up 1 because now they are the leaders in their division. Dolphins number 2 in this one as well. San Francisco dropping 2 spots from the number 1 spot. Rams top 10 in this one as well. So Rams and Matthew Stafford looking pretty dangerous. If the Lions do have to take on the Rams, that could be an interesting one for them. So a lot going on here. We're going to have to see. Patriots winning that game. I mean, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL. Them winning that game, it could take them out of getting a stud first-round pick. So they need to quit winning games. But that's going to do it for our NFL action. Now we're going to touch on some bowl game results. We're going to go over some of these bowl games. Hopefully get through this pretty quick. But that's it for all those. We got a bunch of bowl games that happened this weekend. We gave our picks. I don't remember our picks. Maybe I remember some of them. But Georgia Tech, I probably had UCF in this one, I would imagine. Big 12 team. With me being a Texas fan, they are a former Big 12 team. So probably had UCF in this one. I think I took Troy to win this one. Duke beating Troy. I watched this game. Pretty electric. We have some cool news about Duke coming up at the end of the show. Arkansas State, I think I went with the old Sun Belt team right here. Them losing. I don't know if it was this game. Yes, it was this game. So some spicy news about this one. JMU, Dukes, taking on Air Force. I think I had Dukes in this one. Them losing as well. Man, I'm just not a good bowl game picker. I think I had Georgia State as well, and this one's Sun Belt team. Southern Alabama destroys Eastern Michigan. Utah loses to Northwestern, so Utah going to the Big 12 this next year. I think I talked about in my show how they were going to the Big 10, so that was wrong. But Utah going to the Big 12, not a good showing from them. Only 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter. That looks like a boring game. Coastal Carolina, another Sun Belt team, taking down San Jose State. Minnesota taking down Bowling Green. My alma mater, Texas State Bobcats, winning their first ever bowl game, baby. First ever bowl game for the Cats. Eat them up. They ate them up. They did their thing. They beat the Rice Owls. So good stuff. Absolutely destroyed them in the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl. And then Kansas taking down UNLV for the nightcap. So we had some cool football action there. We saw first time that technology was allowed on the sidelines for these college football teams. So high school is able to use technology. NFL is able to use technology. And apparently, college football was not allowed technology at all. They were supposed to, I guess they were just supposed to do everything on pen and paper. And they were supposed to be boring. And they were supposed to, they were just sticking to old school rules and using their little poster boards and all this stuff. But now, hey, we're seeing technology being implemented into these college football games, which is really cool. They're able to look at film on the sideline, and hey, now college football is not a prehistoric football team or football sport. So they're getting with the times. They're allowing technology in these games. Now we got to get rid of some of the crazy rules where, hey, players get down. In the NFL, they're able to hop back up. They're not touched. College, if they're down, they're just down. So let's give these players some NFL rules, especially if they're all trying to play in the NFL. Having these two different rules, it's very confusing to people. So especially to people that don't watch very often. So cool stuff. Seeing this, maybe there will be some new rule changes in the future as well. But good stuff there. We saw Arkansas State with a sick, chugging the beer celly, just cracking a cold one, sipping it down. But Arkansas State not getting it done. Coach absolutely furious on this offsides call. So they did an onside kick at the end of the game. They needed it in order to get a chance with the ball back to go down and drive and win the game. So they do an onside kick. They recover the onside kick. They recover it. But flag on the play, offsides. And, I mean, we see right here, it doesn't look, I mean, it was so close. It looks like maybe their body's leaning over, but their feet are not. Their feet are onsides. And you just see the coach just go absolutely insane. So rough stuff right here. And this was for the bowl game. This is for to win it all probably. So you hate to see it for old Arkansas State, old Sun Belt team. We saw Utah player getting his helmet ripped off, and then the Northwestern player using it to hit him. So this was probably the only action that we saw. There we go. This is probably the only action that we saw in this game. It looked like a very boring game. This is probably all we got. So him ripping it off and then trying to hit him with it. This resulted in only a face mask penalty. So him taking it off, trying to absolutely murder the guy. And it was only a face mask penalty. It's interesting stuff there. We had first ever bowl win for South Alabama. Another Sun Belt team taking down Eastern Michigan. So the 68 Ventures Bowl champions, first ever bowl game win. Awesome stuff here. You love seeing history being made, and you know they're you know this team has to love this. So awesome stuff right there. But we saw one of the Southern Alabama players get sucker punched by an Eastern Michigan player at the end of the game. So you see them, I think, doing their school song or whatever, and you see this dude get sucker punched, and you see number 26 kind of seeing it coming, and just starts taking him down. Then you see some other players run out, and then we just start an all-out brawl. So not good stuff. We do not want to see people getting sucker punched. Now, to be fair, he had a helmet on. I'm sure it didn't do much damage, but still, getting hit like that, not something you want to see. This is just very unsportsmanlike. This is not why we play sports. We're not playing it to kill other people or inflict damage on other people, even though it does happen in the sport of football. Intentionally. You don't want to inflict damage intentionally. But this dude, I mean, you have to think that he is getting charges pressed against him. You have to think that he might get kicked off this team. You have to think like what is this happening? Like, this is thug behavior. This is not acceptable in this sport, in any sport. And I mean, I don't hope the worst for him, but hey, I hope this dude gets some help, and I hope that we never see this again, because that is just ridiculous, and that should never be happening. But all Texas State also bowl champions and first ever bowl champions. Wow, Texas State gets their first ever bowl win in a game. My alma mater, eat 'em up, Cats. Get your states up. So everyone do it with me. Get your states up. It's the state of Texas. Fuck. There we go. It's the state of Texas. If you can't tell right here. And then you got your paw up for your Bobcats. There we go. My alma mater, where I'm alumni, win their first ever bowl game. We brought in a new head coach. We brought in, I think, 53 transfers this year. So we had a completely new team. Second most transfers brought in under Colorado in old prime time. So new head coach, absolutely turning this program upside down. I think the previous 3 coaches had a record of like 20 and like 60 something. So I don't think, me being at school there, I don't think we ever had a winning record. But bang, new team, new San Marcos, absolutely showing out. I think I saw a post where by the beginning of the third quarter, after halftime, all beer in the entire stadium was sold out. So we saw a crazy showing. We saw a ton of people showing up to this game, going crazy, storming the field after we won. It just makes me happy. It just makes me happy seeing it for the first time ever. Your own school, it just fills me with joy. Just breaking records, doing their thing. Texas State Bobcats ate them up. We ate them up. Our saying is eat them up, Cats, but we ate them up. The Rice Owls got nothing on us. You see these feathers right here down in the corner. Our Texas State Bobcat ate them up. That owl is gone. But awesome stuff right here. Let's just have a round of applause for my old Texas State Bobcats. Doing their thing. We hope that he keeps it up as a head coach. And hey, we hope that we keep him. So, good stuff there. Good stuff. Next year, maybe we go back to back. But awesome stuff here. That's going to do it for the bowl game segment. We're going to hop into a little bit of the NBA action. Our NBA results for Christmas Day. We had Bucks taking on the Knicks. Bucks dropping the game to the Knicks. Giannis, 32 points, 13 rebounds, monster double-double. But Jalen Brunson, former Dallas Maverick, going off for 38 points, 6 rebounds. Awesome stuff for old Jalen Brunson. We got Warriors dropping the game to the Nuggets. You got old Jokic with a 26 bomb, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Good stuff there. Almost triple-double. And then we got this Podziemski getting 13 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. I think this is one of the newer guys on their team. I don't know why they showed him, and if these other players got more points, but wow, this Podziemski now a starter. Let's check out his profile right here. So yeah, this is one of their newer guys. It's cool seeing. I think he rode the bench these last few years, and he getting himself in that starting role and playing some good ball. So cool stuff there. I like that they show that, one of the top performers. And then we had one of the marquee matchups of the day. We had the Boston Celtics taking on the Lakers, the all-time rivals. 2 of probably the most winningest programs in the NBA. But Celtics looking absolutely electric with Porzingis, with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, all these people just doing great stuff. Celtics advanced to 23-6 and taking down the Lakers on Christmas Day. Anthony Davis with a 40-piece combo and 13 rebounds, monster double-double. Porzingis 28 points, 11 rebounds. Let's check out the box scores on these. So we had Jaylen Brown, 19 points. Wow, Boston, their starters just going crazy. Derek White, 18 points. This is Drew Holiday, 18 points. Porzingis, 28 points. Jason Tatum, 25 points. Great stuff there. Anthony Davis, 40 bomb. You got LeBron James, only 16 points. Wow, on Christmas. So, LeBron James not showing up. Maybe that's why they lost this game. Yeah, not a great performance for LeBron. I think he is one of the most. I think he has. Or we're going to go over some of his stats for these Christmas games, but he is usually pretty electric. Reeves only 11 points off the bench, so yeah, not a good showing for the old Lakers on Christmas Day. But Boston taking down their rivals, the Los Angeles Lakers. Heat going off with old rookie Jaquez Jr. with 31 points, 10 rebounds, taking down the 76ers. 76ers were getting dominated at halftime, and then they come out swinging, but ultimately it was not enough. And then, final game of the night, we had old Luka taking on the Suns. Luka getting a 50 bomb, 6 rebounds, 15 assists, a monster double-double. Grayson Allen, wow, with 32 points. Interesting stuff there. But hey, Luka Doncic and old Devin Booker rivalry. Looks like Luka's got the upper hand. Pistons. This wasn't Christmas Day, but Pistons, a few days before, dropped their 26th consecutive game. Since the beginning of the season, going 2-1, they have dropped 26 games since then. They are just looking absolutely garbage. Garbage. Come on, Pistons. Win a game. Do it. You got it. Looks like they want that number 1 pick, but hey, they forgot there's a lottery. You can't just be the last team in the league. So, but we had the old Luka, Devin Booker rivalry. We've seen them face off against each other in the regular season. It looks like Devin Booker has a winning record against Luka Doncic in the regular season, but Doncic having the upper hand in playoffs. Their only time they faced off, the Mavericks beating them 4-3 in the series, and so Luka getting the upper hand. We had this legendary moment in playoffs. Some legendary moments. You see them getting in each other's face. Luka making some comments on what he thinks about old Devin Booker. But this one of the most iconic moments, and then them getting in each other's face. They just do not like each other. And Luka is just, I think this happened during playoffs, and Luka has just had the upper hand against him. But as we saw, Luka 50 points, 6 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, 3 blocks, 8 3-pointers made. Wow. Luka just killing Devin Booker and the Suns. Bang from 3. Bang. I guess that wasn't a bang, but little step back. Oh, you're not going to guard me? Step back. Bang. Another. Ooh, a little assist inside. So, as we've talked about in these last few weeks, Daddy Doncic just going off. So we're seeing him have an electric game right here. And this one, on Christmas Day, showing out. Hey, he's showing his daughter. Even though she probably doesn't know what's going on. She's like, hey, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Devin Booker got nothing on me. Here's a 50 bomb. Let's see what Devin Booker put up in this game. Probably quite a bit of points. Probably went off. But still not enough. Devin Booker, 20 points. Pretty good showing. He had a double-double, 10 assists. But wow, Doncic just with that 50 bomb. Devin Derek Lively getting 20-piece combo. Jones Jr. with a 23-piece, and then Tim Hardaway with an 18-piece. Good stuff from the Lakers, or from the old Dallas Mavericks right there, and them taking down the Phoenix Suns. We had an interesting moment between old
Booker giving chase.
Devin Booker
And
yelling
Luka
at his
gets the
teammate.
land.
Aren't you running back? You just turn the ball over and don't run back?
So, one of his teammates giving up the ball, literally turning it over to Luka, and none of the Phoenix Suns running back. Only Devin Booker running back,
Booker
and
giving
then you see
chase.
him calling him out like,
And Luka gets the land.
"Why aren't you running back?"
You just turn the ball over and don't run back?
So, the chemistry between Phoenix Suns right now not looking good. Looks like they're kind of falling apart. Kevin Durant, them just not looking good. But, I mean, where is the effort on this play? I mean, even Devin Booker, sure, he hustles back, but he doesn't really try very much. He tries just kind of poking it out. But this Phoenix Suns team, with all the superstars that they are just getting ripped apart. They are now, I guess, 14 and 15. So they are now probably 11th or 12th in the West. Dallas Mavericks advancing to 18 and 12, probably 5th or 6th team in the West. So good stuff from them. Good stuff from old Daddy Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. But Suns need to figure something out quick. We had old LeBron James getting a block on Jason Tatum from behind. Him thinking he gets fouled, but chasing him down full court. But after review, the foul was on whoever this was right here. It was not on LeBron James. The block was clean. So cool stuff right there. You just see him put his head down. You just see him put his head down and just sprint up the court. So we see him right here. See him put his head down, just sprint, catch up. Boom! Give me that. So good stuff from LeBron. Not the best showing, and Celtics still take him down. But LeBron, some of the all-time leaders moving up the boards. He's now the 6th in total rebounds on Christmas Day. Who we got above him? Bill Russell. Interesting. Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain. Okay. Monster names. All-time leaders for free throws made on Christmas. You got LeBron James at that number 2 spot. You should see him take that record down. So, cool stuff. Him moving up some of these leaderboards. I think he's probably one of the highest scorers on Christmas Day, if not the highest scorer. But still, takes that L. But LeBron James as well has 1,175 game streak of getting double digits scoring in games. So active streak, he has over 1,000 games more than second place, which is in Joel Embiid at 157 games. So crazy stat right there. And then we just see all-time streaks. Michael Jordan at that number 2 spot, 866 games. Obviously, Michael Jordan not playing as many games as LeBron James. LeBron James is just old as frick and just staying in the NBA, doing things that we have never seen before from a, about to be 39-year-old. So cool stuff from LeBron James. Way to keep it up, doing your thing. Probably going to stay in the league until he's playing with old Bronny James. Maybe even his other son. Can't think of his name right now, but good stuff from LeBron. Now we're going to hop into our news. We had a decent amount of news. This is going to be our last segment before we get out of here on our, so far, hour and 35-minute program. This is our longest ever Bandwagon Sports episode. So, if you're tuning in or if you're watching the highlights or watching the reels, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you. Thank you for subscribing, following, doing your thing, liking these posts. We're gonna post a bunch of reels from this episode. We got a bunch of content. This is going to be another short week before we hit it hard going into 2024. But Florida State suing the ACC over their withdrawal fee. Jesus. Florida State suing the ACC over grant of rights. Let's do that one more time. Let's make this a clip, y'all. Let's make this a clip. Florida State suing the ACC over the withdrawal fee. So, Florida State is wanting to leave the ACC, especially after what just happened. They were the number one team in the ACC. They went undefeated. They didn't lose a game. They won the ACC. But yet, that still was not enough with their hurt quarterback, with their stud getting out. They did not make it. So, they're like, okay, well, what? If y'all favor these SEC teams, if you favor these other schools, these other programs, you're saying the ACC is weak? We want out of here. This is not the ACC's fault at all. It's not like they had a saying in the college football playoff and they were like, hey, nah, you shouldn't put them up there because they lost their starting quarterback. So not the ACC's fault, but they want to join a bigger program. You have to think, with the Seminoles being a stud program, with them being one of these marquee teams, you have to think they want to go to the SEC, especially if they want that chance at the national championship. But with it moving to a 12-team playoff this next year, you have to think, why would you want to leave the ACC? Now, they're going to take the top 4 teams in each conference, ACC being one of them. And if you are a winner, you get a bye first round in that 12-team playoff. So now, with there not being 5, the whole problem was that there was 5 conferences, Power 5, and there was 4 spots. So you had to kick out one of them. But now, with there being 4, you're getting an automatic bye, being in the Power 4. So you have to think, hey, if you are playing easier teams, you got an easier road. You got an easier roadmap to the college football finals. So interesting why they'd want to leave or sue, but I think they have to pay upwards of $120 million to pay this withdrawal fee just to get out of the ACC. I think the ACC has them and all the other teams in a contract till $130 million withdrawal fee. And they have all of them in a contract till 2036. So if they want to leave early, they're going to have to pay the $130 million. So we've never seen this before. We've seen teams leave and them just pay it, them not say anything about it. But this is the first time we've seen a college football team or just a school in general sue one of the conferences to try and get past that withdrawal fee and get out without that $130 million. So we're either going to see them lose this and either pay to get out, or we're going to see them win this. And this could be big because other schools now leaving. We just saw Texas and Oklahoma leave early. I think they had to pay some big money. But now we're going to see schools like this. If they win, then we might see some more lawsuits. But I think with them signing the contract, there's probably not a chance that they win this. But Florida State pissed about not making the college football playoff. Their attorney general for the state trying to sue them. I mean, they are just trying to sue in every way, shape, or form. But you have to think, after last year, after we saw Georgia spank TCU in the finals, they do not want teams like TCU in, even though they beat Michigan first round, even though they do not want these teams that do not face up well against Georgia. I'm sure a lot of viewers tuned out and they left and they didn't watch the end of that game because it was such a blowout. But they need these viewers. They need to make money. They need to make this ad money. I'm sure they have a lot of ad partners. So, hey, they were like, we are not going to let that happen again. We're going to put the top 4 best teams that we think, from the eye test, from all these other tests, in. So, with Florida State, no matter what they did, they have their backup quarterback, which actually, their backup quarterback will not be playing. Tate Rodemaker will not be playing in the bowl game against Georgia. He is now entering the transfer portal. So Tate Rodemaker out. Brock Glenn in. Third-string quarterback playing against Georgia. Would he have entered the transfer portal if they were in the college football playoff? Who knows? But now, Tate Rodemaker off the team. Brock Glenn on the team. They most likely will get absolutely rocked by Georgia. With that third-string quarterback in, they were not able to get much offensive going. But this is not looking good for Florida. You got people decommitting from there. You got them trying to sue everyone and their mama. You got them trying to sue the College Football Committee. You got them trying to sue the ACC. You got players leaving, like I said. You got people transferring out. You got people decommitting, going to other schools. Florida State just falling apart after going undefeated. This is just a story that is just unheard of. But FSU, good luck in your matchup against Georgia. We'll see if you actually deserve to be in. Damn. Florida State, you got some work to do. We got Malik Murphy, Texas quarterback, backup quarterback. We saw him play in 2 games this year and pull off the wins, I think against Kansas State and another team. But anyways, pulls off 2 wins and keeping Texas undefeated while Quinn Ewers was out. He, 6'5", massive quarterback, is transferring and is committed to Duke. So we saw Duke beat Troy in their bowl game, looking pretty solid with a new head coach. We have the head coach for Duke going to Texas A&M. So now we got Malik Murphy going to a solid program. Duke looked actually pretty decent this year, and them coming off a bowl victory. So good stuff. You love seeing all Malik Murphy. He should get the starting job there. I think Riley Leonard is transferring out as well. We talked about that. I can't remember where he is going. But with Riley Leonard getting out of there. Oh, I think Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame. Woo! That is crazy. Anyways, Riley Leonard getting out of there. This should give Malik Murphy the starting role at Duke. So we should be able to watch Malik Murphy this next year. We saw how committed he was to Texas and how emotional it was for him to leave this team because he will not get to go to the college football playoff. He will not get to be with his team during this time, which has to be emotional, especially since he was one of the guys that got them there. But him having to do what's best for him, he didn't want to have to sit behind Quinn Ewers one more year, and Arch Manning will probably be next. So he would just got buried on that depth chart. But Malik Murphy, go do your thing. Be a stud. Keep winning games for old Duke and show them why you are a former Texas quarterback. Some great stuff there. And then we have breaking news. We have Trevor Etienne, the number 1 running back in the transfer portal, committing to University of Georgia, going to play for the Bulldogs. So Georgia getting the number one running back in the transfer portal. He was ranked number 8 in the transfer portal for just all athletes. So a big one here. Is it Travis Etienne? What is it? But his brother playing for the Jaguars in the NFL. So crazy dude. And this is his little brother, Trevor Etienne. Him having an amazing season at Florida, but obviously Florida not a great program, not having a very good season. I think only having like 5, maybe 6 wins. I don't even think they made a bowl game. But them, they're getting, so now Georgia getting Trevor Etienne. He should be a stud. He should be one of those top guys, if not the top guy. So good stuff right there. He said, he's doing this because, he wants to win. Oh, boys, we are stumbling on our words. We are almost done on our 2-hour show. Holy shit. This is electric. We got Arizona quarterback entering the transfer portal. He threw for 8,489 yards in his career. Okay, great. That was awesome stuff. So him entering the transfer portal with that many passing yards, he's probably in his last few years. But hey, Arizona quarterback going to go somewhere else. We have LeBron talking about. Oh my gosh, I clicked on the wrong one. But this is a funny moment.
I mean, to know I can go out and still,
So LeBron, a few days before Christmas, dropping a 40 bomb.
The game in multiple ways, and can still close
You got
out a
Anthony
game.
Davis in the background and D'Angelo Russell.
A week before your 39th birthday.
So you got Anthony Davis in the background going, he got 40? Damn! And then you got D'Angelo Russell in the background doing his little goat noises. Bah! What I wanted to put here, though, was LeBron made a point about why players have to retire before they are put into the Hall of Fame, which is, I mean, it's not like anything too important. It doesn't matter. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame anyways. He's the greatest, if not the second greatest player ever. But him making a point like coaches are able to are getting into the Hall of Fame while they're still active, while they're still coaching, but no player has been able to go into the Hall of Fame while being active. So with this being an argument, could LeBron James be the first ever Hall of Fame player in the NBA that is still active? I could see it. I could see it happening. It would suck for all the old people because there's probably a list. There's probably a line of all these people like, hey, you're going to be in contention for Hall of Fame this year. But if they just start doing active players, then all those guys might not ever make the Hall of Fame. So making a good argument, it does kind of make sense though. Like why do they have to retire before they're in the Hall of Fame? Like he's already proven that he is worthy of the Hall of Fame more than probably 99% of the players in the Hall of Fame. So making a good argument here. But hey, and then we're going to touch on just starting quarterbacks in the NFL. We've seen injuries this year. We've seen so many. We've touched on this on a few episodes, but this was a cool visual that Bleacher Report gave us. We had Aaron Rodgers out, and we've had Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian coming in to relieve. For the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins was out. We had Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Jared Hall in to replace him. Anthony Richardson out for the Colts. Got Gardner Minshew replacing him. Justin Herbert out. His replacement, Easton Stick. Deshaun Watson out. Joe Flacco, P.J. Walker, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson coming in to replace him. Joe Burrow being out. Jake Browning coming in to replace him. Daniel Jones getting out. Tommy DeVito, Tyrod Taylor coming in to replace him. So many injuries, so many different quarterbacks. That was definitely just a cool visual to see right there. And then tush push. Tush push is spreading. We saw this in college football. We saw this in a bowl game this week too. I think it was Minnesota that I saw doing the tush push, getting it done. We see it here. Seahawks starting to use it. This tush push is just starting to spread. It looks like this is not their quarterback. It just looks like they got a big dude and then they got two people behind them. So these people starting to learn from the old tush push and them starting to execute and use it. Most teams have tried using this and they have not been as successful as the Eagles. But hey, these teams starting to adapt and start the league and college football starting to adapt to this new way of potentially getting one free yard. If you need one free yard, tush push, you're getting it. So cool how you see them like all lined up, spread out right here. Or they're like very close, tight knit. Versus Tennessee, if they wanna block anything around these edges, they have to kind of spread out. And so you got most of the weight just driving through the middle right here. And pretty much gives the defense a 0% chance of stopping them. But guys, holy shit. We are a minute 40. Sorry. Jesus, I'm going crazy over here. We are an hour, 51 minutes into the program. We only took one break. But this is our longest ever Bandwagon Sports program. It was a blast. We went over all the NFL action that happened this past Christmas, all the NBA action that happened this past Christmas, and all the bowl games that happened. My Texas State Bobcats won their first ever bowl game. We had a Super Bowl matchup. We had upsets happening. We had playoff contentions happening. So much stuff happening. We had rivalries, Devin Booker, Luka Doncic happening. So much happening. But that's going to do it for this episode. That's all I got for you. That's all I got. No more. But tomorrow, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the NFL action that's going to happen this next week. We're going to talk about a bunch of bowl games coming up. And then we're going to talk about, I guess, some news that happens tonight. Something. But so we got a lot to talk about in tomorrow's episode. I'm getting tired of talking right now. But Friday, I will be flying to Atlanta, going to the Penn State Ole Miss game. So there will not be a Friday show, and I will get back Monday. So there will not be a Monday show either. So we have a super short week. We have our monster episode coming back, not going Monday or Tuesday this week. We're going to be off Friday as well, and then off next Monday. And then after that, we are going to be hitting it hard. We are going to be going absolutely ham, hitting every single day. This is just a few episodes to end the year. But Bandwagon Sports is just going to pop off in 2024. I can guarantee it. Every single weekday, Monday through Friday, we will be smashing episodes every day. So Bandwagoners, I want to thank you for tuning in. I don't know if I have anyone tuning in right now, but coming up, we will start having people start to tune in, and I will be so thankful for y'all. So that will do it for us. I am your host, Cade Navarro. This is Bandwagon Sports on a Bandwagon Wednesday. We don't have any Wagon of the Week picks. We don't have anything. But we had so much to unpack on this episode, and I had a blast with y'all. I'm getting tired. I'm going to chug me some more coffee, and then I'm going to get to work. But thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will have some posts up for y'all today. But that is going to do it for us. That is going to end it for us. I am your host, like I said, Cade Navarro. And we are signing out of Bandwagon Sports. Holy fuck, my brain is just absolutely melted. But that is it for us, as I've said 5 times already. This is Bandwagon Sports, signing out.